Hey Sagittarius, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for August 15th, 2024. This is for Sagittarius. Last shuffle coming out for Sagittarius to see what's going on. Sagittarius, we have status quo and we have the healing light. So this tells me that you are at a place now where you realize that you just want life to be normal for you. And the more things are abnormal, the more the weird part is like the more things are out of sync, the more you start to, oh gosh, Sagittarius, there's some things that are like nails to a chalkboard going on with you in your life. Yeah, it feels like the more conflict you have, especially with with a particular person, the more you realize that it's time for new, and it heals you to understand. Like if once you, oh gosh, like how, say you're dealing with a person and there's always a conflict. That's what this says. Nine of Wands and the King of Wands. If he's in the King of Wands, I mean, if a King of Wands is in a Nine of Wands energy, he's conflictual. He's angry. He's like bitter. He's mean. He's like a tyrant, angry all the time, right? And so this would be somebody who plays victim as well, and because Nine of Wands is a wounded warrior after all, right? And this is like saying I deal with a new person out of nowhere, not necessarily like, say if this is a romantic connection, doesn't mean that you're cheating or dating someone else right now. Some of you actually may be dating someone else right now, but just being around another person, it shows you that you need to heal. It shows you that you're not, that wasn't okay, that what you were dealing with was not okay. That was like, it's almost like of all the options I chose the one that was wrong for me. It's almost too like, you realize that you're highly anxious because you've been dealing with someone like that for so long, or not even for so long, but just dealing with that energy. You know how that becomes normalized. If you deal with a certain person, you kind of know what pitfalls to avoid, you know what not to say, you know what the hot points are with that individual. Then you meet someone else, you start talking to them, and it's like finally there's a breakthrough. You don't even know how to navigate through that because it's like, I'm used to stopping at a certain point to appease someone's ego. And now I'm open. I realize now how anxious I am and how much I was walking on eggshells. Maybe you didn't realize it because it became commonplace for you to do so. So that's what this says here. But when you have status quo with the Wheel of Fortune, King of Wands, Six of Cups, Hierophant, that would tell me that once again everything was going to the beat of this person's drum, and that it could change rapidly. Like they could change up. One minute they're cool, the next minute they're flying off the handle, or one minute they're okay, then the next minute they're wounded, and they're like, "I can't believe you disrespected me like that," or and I'm only, wow, it's funny because I was just speaking to a Sagittarius about that kind of conversation, not about them, but in general, just talking about the experiences I went through, and it's just funny that that came out because that's what I said. Okay, but that's how they may act. They may say, you hurt me, you disrespected me. They usually a Nine of Wands feels attacked or feels like they're alone in something, that nobody's there for them, and so you may have dealt with that energy. It's like no matter what, with the Two of Swords, that means darned if you do, darned if you don't. No matter what you say, that's what's going to come out. Is somehow, some way, they're in this by themselves, and there is them against the world, no matter what has been said. So there's something about this becoming normal for you, the changeability, the ups and the downs, and that things actually had to go according to what they wanted or what their whims were all throughout the past. You may feel like they were whims now when you look back, like that was just an imaginary issue that they just kept coming up with. And so the healing light, after dealing with a new person altogether, or just new energy, just going around different types of people, you realize how anxious you really were, like how nervous you always were, how frightened you may have been. Some of you may have been scared, like, I don't know what to say because this person might snap and I don't feel like dealing with it. I've never seen a Sagittarius too scared, but when they care about someone, they do try to understand the nuances of the person and try to figure out what to do. So, because most of the time, Sagittarius are never scared. They'll tell you so many things. They'll tell you the truth. You'll be like, well, dang, okay. Well, dang, tell me the truth about myself, why don't you? Don't leave anything out, apparently, because they're not. Um, but courage here with the Five of Swords and the Six of Pentacles, Now I'm seeing a very I am seeing what I thought. Someone who's an eternal victim that will sabotage things to turn it around and twist it to fit that narrative. And courage with the fight. Yeah, this courage energy is talking about what's around you. People are going to be really bold and try to blame you for things. I'm seeing that that is something that you may not be aware of. You may be like a frog being cooked slowly in a pot of water. You've been sitting in that pot for so long you don't realize that the water's starting to boil. And so with this courage energy, this is talking about no matter what was exchanged with the Six of Pentacles, because that's usually an exchange. I give you something, you give me something, as you see the two hands in the scale, right? No matter what you exchange with this person, they flip it around to where either they're the winner or they're the loser, whichever their objective is, right? They no matter how it is, they lose. No matter what they do, they're losing. But they've got to win at this game of victimhood. You know, it's like to them they win if they're the ones that are being wronged. And it seems like this is a blamer alert with the Nine of Wands with all of this. They may blame you for their misfortune or some kind of problem, and they may feel as though they're being taken advantage of, and they're being brave about this, though. This says that they're being bold. Like it's obvious that that's not the case for them, but they're still going to be bold. If you have courage with that, that means that they will stand up at a podium and tell the story and have everybody scratching their head looking at them funny. But to them, they're the victim, and they'll stand on that no matter what you say. And that's ridiculous. They'll sabotage this whole situation. They're brave enough to do it, which is dumb. Oh gosh, the deception. The deception is oh gosh. So there's something here about you feeling like there's nothing you can do. Every time you take a leap of faith to end something, it won't end and it doesn't end, and that no matter the deception is it doesn't matter what action I take, something won't stop, something won't end. That is a deception. The deception is that there's no actions that you can possibly take. You'll never get away, right? It's all this is giving the energy with the swords of I'm never going to get away from this. I'm you know what I'm saying, I think that what you need to do in this energy according to these cards is that you need to be around a new group of people, like a whole new group of people, not just your friends or not just like the people at work. It's like talk to different people, a new group, and you're going to see how difficult it is to navigate through that group because you are so used to trying to make things better to appease an ego of another person. And you will see very easily, like there'll be a breath of fresh air, and you'll realize that this is some baggage that you really truly must leave behind, or it would be a natural occurrence though, because what the problem is, once you start healing, you're not going to want to deal with certain things anymore. You're going to want new. My advice, if you feel as though you're that frog in the pot, talk to new people all the way around. It doesn't have to be romantically talking to new people, but just go and talk to some different people and just be you, but be different. You know what I mean? Just play out a fantasy. I don't know. Talk to people and just change it up and realize how easy it is to talk to other people versus the people you've been dealing with. You'll see, and automatically it'll kickstart a healing in you. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, you could be dealing with the Aries, a Taurus, or a Sagittarius. You also have another Sagittarius, rather, or a Leo. Okay, so you could be dealing with an Aries, Taurus cusp. If you're not dealing with these signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.